Welcome back, Truth Seeker. We got to talk about Maui again, and I imagine we're going to be talking about Maui a lot. If you've missed the videos this far, there's a lot to get caught up on, but very briefly, I want to again remind about the significance of Hawaii turning 64 years old this month, August 21st, 2023, in light of this devastating fire in Lahaina right before the anniversary. Again, it burned up 13 days before its birthday with the United States, the land of 13 stripes. And a lot of people are wondering about Randy Meisner's death of the Eagles right before this, because they have the song mentioning Lahaina and Paradise, two places that have burned up in similar fashion in recent years. We're going to talk about where Randy Meisner dying 13 days before Lahaina also fits in. But again, 64 years old. And in 1964, some very symbolic things happened. There was a really bad Hurricane Dora that year, and Pepsi did something very interesting that year. Pepsi, this larger-than-life company. We've been talking a lot about this number 64. Well, funny enough, Dora the Explorer, that cartoon, it ended. The last episode was August 9th, 2019. And, of course, August 9th, 2023, the 4-year anniversary of that, this took over the news. Maui. The fire started August 8th, but it took over the news August 9th. And, again, it was 4 years later. It was 4 days after Obama's birthday. The man who became the 44th president, 44 years after the Civil Rights Act of 64, who's from Hawaii. Anyhow, what I want to talk about is the significance of Dora the Explorer's creator being 64 and why it matters what day their birthday was in light of what day Maui burned up. If you watch my last video on Jay-Z, Kanye, and Barack and how they are all tied together through this, Kanye has the 808 and Heartbreak album recorded in Hawaii. Hawaii's the 808 area code. The fire was on 8/8 at the time of the 50th anniversary of hip-hop. It's the 50th state, and hip-hop came to be on the Japanese drum machine known as the 808. And Jay-Z's first music videos, where he hangs at the 50-second mark, essentially, is Hawaiian Sophie. If you missed that, we talked a lot about the number 97. So we talked about 64, 97. In this case, we're going to get to how Dora the Explorer, how their creator turned 64, 97 days before the hurricane winds that caused the fire. And then, also, shout out to the community. Somebody let me know that The Rock, besides Moana, again, we've been talking about how Moana fits in with the fire. And very quickly, again, Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 127. The new Pearl Harbor 9/11 was buildings 1, 2, and 7, like the date December 7th. December 7th, Pearl Harbor 127. The new Pearl Harbor 9/11 buildings 1, 2, and 7. The governor of Hawaii on the Jesuit order's birthday compared Maui to 9/11. And there's a lot more to that. But from the day that The Rock announced the live-action Moana coming in 2025, from that day to the destruction was 127 days, and the trailer for the film begins with an island burning. And wrestling equals 127. He was a Miami Hurricane, syncing up with the Dora thing. And, of course, he's a big star. After being a Miami Hurricane, he became a big wrestling star. We know Polynesia equals 127, like how Maui, the fire god he plays in the Disney cartoon. In real life, Maui's the fire god in Polynesian mythology, but Polynesia also 127. And again, I have a feeling that they're probably in the crosshairs too. But we're going to talk about all that, and The Rock has this new film that he announced where he's going to portray the king of Hawaii. And it's just mind-blowing how all this comes together. It really does blow my mind just looking at how they continue to do this. We've been looking at this for a decade now, but it still blows my mind how well these people are coordinated and how perfect their rituals are. And again, it's going to be undeniable if you pay attention. Anyone who looks at this and just thinks all a coincidence, that you have the worst case of cognitive dissonance. But let's start with Dora the Explorer. Again, Moana's for children, Dora the Explorer's for children. We just talked about the actor from Game of Thrones who was in one episode, The Children, and how he got 86 months later. Just like how after the 8/6 anniversary of bomb in Hiroshima, next thing you know, Hawaii's getting it. when we got Hawaii for military purposes, having to do with Japan and beyond, and the Asian nations and islands. But look at this. Dora the Explorer, you guys. Just to remind, in Gematria is very simple. It's the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z is 26. The alphabetic order with numerology, and then also running the alphabetic order in reverse. Z is 1 back to A is 26, and reverse numerology. But notice the overlap with fire, Dora, death. Notice the 29 in fire, again, from the flooding of Maui on March 8, 3/8, to the fire was 29 months later. And, again, Chris Gifford, the creator of Dora the Explorer, he's born in 59, the same year Hawaii became a state on August 21st. He just turned 64 on May 3rd. And Hawaii's about to turn 64. Again, in Gematria, Kill and Maui, the exact same in all 4 ciphers. We've talked about 44 in a huge way, 64 in a huge way, a little bit about 28. I haven't emphasized enough that Jay-Z also equals 17 in the same cipher as Kill and Maui. And again, we did point it out, but I didn't emphasize it enough. Jay-Z hangs in that song, Hawaiian Sophie, and that song released on The Rock's 17th birthday. And again, all of this stuff is perfectly coordinated with all of these people because they're chosen stars, you know, to play on the world stage and control the minds of the masses. Keep them all thinking about the same things. Fame and fortune. But yes, Kill and Maui, identical in all ciphers. Obama number 44 from Hawaii. This happens 4 days after his birthday, like how Dora the Explorer ended on August 9th, 2019. 4 years to the day of this taking over the news. Again, the fire was 8/8, but it became the news on August 9th. And we covered why that day, why they saved it for that day. Go watch my videos from August 9th. They will blow your mind. What we talked about all day ended up happening at the end of the day, as it's happened so many times. But yes, in the Jay-Z video, we made a huge point about 97 and where it fits in with hurricanes and the Carters and Sean Carter and Dwayne Carter, who's Lil Wayne from New Orleans, down where Katrina happened when Kanye got famous, who connects back with Chicago and Obama. But anyway, 97 days after this man's 64th birthday, the hurricane winds from Dora supposedly wreck Maui with the fire. I just want you to think about how perfect it is, and I want you to think about how for a decade we've been talking about this now. You know, accurately forecasting things, talking about the same patterns to look for. And I didn't even realize this thing about Dora the Explorer. In fact, if you watch my live stream from this morning with Jay-Z and Kanye and Obama and the burning Maui in the thumbnail, if you watch that video, you'll see that somebody called in at the end of that stream and said, hey, I think you need to look into Dora the Explorer. And we looked in real time and we saw the August 9th thing. I just left it there. I was like, wow, August 9th. 4 years to the day. But now to look at the creator and see that he's 64 and it's 97 days after his birthday, I mean, come on. So let's talk about Randy Meisner. Randy Meisner just died of the Eagles 13 days before Lahaina burned. They have the song about Lahaina, The Last Resort, on Hotel California. And we just talked about how it's so interesting how old Hotel California, or how old Don Henley is right now, the biggest star in the Eagles, in light of the year Hotel California came out. Hotel California came out in 76. In Gematria, Hotel California equals 76. Don Henley just turned 76 in July. Randy Meisner died 4 days after Don Henley's birthday. And Randy Meisner's biggest singing song, Taking It to the Limit, that was on the Eagles' 4th album. So The Last Resort's on Hotel California album. And look at what day Hotel California came out, you guys. Came out on December 8th. It came out the day after Pearl Harbor Day. I mean, it would just be too in your face, I suppose, if it was Pearl Harbor Day, but it's not far off. It's the day after. And The Last Resort has the same gematria as Jesuit Order, 54, big special number. We just talked about the Black Godfather's huge 54 death ritual and what it has to do with Jay-Z and Diddy. And Jay-Z turns 54 later this year like Diddy. And Jay-Z got known through Puff Daddy or Diddy's album No Way Out, which was in 97 after the death of Biggie. I believe 97 days from that album coming out, if I remember correct. But notice the gematria of Randy Meisner. It's not just the 13 days thing. I was looking at that, I was like, that could be a coincidence, but probably not. Randy Meisner, 145 and 64. So there's the 64 again, and August 8th is the day leaving 145 days left in the year. And what was the point we made about 145, and the Old Testament, and Sodom and Gomorrah, and Obama's legacy, and oh bottom, and oh bummer, and oh boy. You know what happened? They had the whole White House in rainbows. You know what I mean? But Sodom and Gomorrah, fire rains from the sky, biblical rituals, Old Testament Jewish, again 145 more chapters than the Catholic Old Testament. The brand new Jewish governor, his 247th day in office, Maui burns up shortly after the U.S.'s 247th birthday, which means shortly after the Illuminati's 247th birthday, because, of course, the Illuminati was established May 1st, 1776, like Don Henley just turned 76, like Hotel California in that year, this album. And, again, just in the lyrics, and they called it paradise, the place to be. They watched the hazy sun sinking in the sea. You can leave it all behind, sail to Lahaina, just like the missionaries did so many years ago. And then shortly after the missionaries, you had the American invasion of Hawaii, and we're going to see how that all goes with the Rock and the King. This just blows my mind even more. And then the fact that the King's remembered for winning the Hawaiian Civil War, and everything they're doing right now with all the Civil War recreation, the book I've been writing for the last 3 years, how they're recreating the Civil War. I feel like I'm getting it out too late. I knew time was short. That's why I'm mad at myself. Anyway, we'll come back to his full name, Randall Herman Meisner. We'll come back to that because it fits in with this thing with Dwayne Johnson and the King. So August 29th, 2018, The Rock announces his new role as the King of Hawaii. Another movie that's going to come out. Or unless it's already come out. I don't do a good job of keeping up with my Hollywood. I need to see if that movie's come out already. But, and I should probably explore the Robert Zemeckis angle. He's been covered to some major things in the past. But, it's just, I don't know exactly where to start with this King thing because there's so many good spots to start. You know what? Let me just start with a classic, simple one. There's so many good ones. But you see how the King is 74 in the most simple cipher? From the actual death of the King of Hawaii to the U.S. government overthrowing Hawaii was 74 years. That's not a bad place to start in the nation with the 7-4 birthday, where, again, here, to make a point, Gematria, the killing name. If anybody wants to get this video to the lead singer of Slipknot, he's recently been saying things like he'll only perform this song for the Pope from now on, and conspiracy theorists online are driving him nuts. I think that my work is having a serious impact on this guy, and I don't know if he feels guilty or what, but if he's out there and wants to debate that this is all conspiracy theory and nonsense, in light of the fact that he sung this song, and this is a real thing, obviously. I mean, look, Gematria, the killing name, song by Slipknot. 12/8/73. I got to look into that date. That was all I got, and now you got me. I don't know why I've talked about this song so many times and not looked into that opening date. We were just talking about December 8th with the Eagles thing, but this was 3 years earlier. Anyway, the chorus is, America is a killing name. Here, if you're new here, you have to know this list. You have to know the 74 list in light of Gematria, the killing name, in this English-speaking country where the lyrics say America is a killing name, and this number's been all over killing for so long. Notice Gematria is 74 like killing. Again, Gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words. Just using the alphabetic order, both words are 74. English is 74. Energy is 74. Weapon is 74. Occult is 74. The word nuclear is 74. Okay? All right. Got my letters a little bit out of order, but I'm making sure we're all good. Yeah, we're good. Okay. I'm coming back. I thought we had a problem with the connection. All these 74 words, and it goes way beyond that. 74 is this huge number. The 74th day of the year is to remember the stabbing of Caesar, and stabbing is 74. That's the Ides of March. Caesar killed in 44 BC. The word kill itself is 44. And let's not forget what they did to Bob Lee this year with the stabbing on 4/4 after the announcement for what was going to happen the first week of April on the Ides of March by the Federal Reserve when they said they'd begin setting up the FedNow digital currency system, when Bob Lee pretty much is the godfather of digital currency. But, okay, the 74 thing, like as much as I talk about that number, and since that's been the number that made me realize Gematria is a thing, by the way, holiday is 74, like this nation's birthday is 74. If you use the alphabetic order with numerology, Independence Day is 74. So 74 years after the death of the king, and the king is 74, again, you have the U.S. taking over Hawaii, essentially. And again, that was in the year 1893, and we've been talking a lot about 93 and Japan and the big bombs. And anyway, let's go back through this. King Kamehameha, probably said that wrong, apologies. But the person that The Rock is going to portray, the king's name is 62. Now, we've been talking a lot about 62 because Obama just turned 62. This happened on Kanye West's 62nd day of his age. And Kanye and Obama are connected through Chicago. And the 808s and Heartbreak album came out the November that Obama became president-elect. And Kanye, Chicago equals 46 in Gematria. Kanye is 46 right now. Jay-Z equals 62 and 46, as does Sacrifice. Torah equals 62. The start of the Torah is Genesis. Genesis 46 is about sacrifice. Again, since Obama turned 62, it's been a rough time for Simba. Obama once joked that he was Simba of the Lion King, only for the Simba actor to die the day after his birthday this year. And then Hawaii burns up 4 days later. But all this 62 also goes with this king's name. And again, the U.S. takes over after his death 74 years later. I'm tempted to, let me see, do I have it up? Here, I want to show you guys the first page. How do I do it here? Bear with me one moment while I switch something around. I want you to see the first page of my first book, the page about weather warfare. I just want you to see how we talk about August 15th, the Jesuit order's birthday, and the ritual they did in the number 62, because again, this number goes back to flooding. But let me see if I can get it up here. I got to stop this screen share, and I got to share a different screen. Let me see. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, what did I do? Obviously messed something up. Let's try that again. Oh, snap. Oh, come on. Bear with me. Technical glitch over here. Let's see why it's not doing that. Huh. Okay. Okay, we're almost back to where we need to be. Okay. So, this is, what is it? Page 510. My first book is big. It's nearly 800 pages. And I get through a lot of information before I get to weather warfare, because I know a lot of people get lost with weather warfare, even though it's this real thing that world leaders have talked about for the better part of the last century. It just blows people's minds too much. But I might have to zoom in to make it more clear. Again, the first admitted act of weather warfare was August 15th, 1952, the Jesuit order's birthday. This year on August 15th, you have the governor comparing what happened to, a war zone or 9/11. But flooding has the gematria of 62 and 46. We just talked about those numbers, how they're biblical. In the Torah, you have the biblical flood story. So again, and Kanye has all the biblical narratives. And Jay-Z, he says he kind of uses Jesus in a way as his alias. He's Jehovah. Jehovah. But anyhow, the hand of God has that gematria of 46. So does flooding. Flooding also has the 62. The experiment, the hand of God, also 62. Torah 62, like Elohim. RAF rainmakers, that's what they used. And remember, the flooding of Maui, March 8th, 2021, synced with the fire. And the new Moana live action shows first the island burning and then massive rain coming down. So again, just weather warfare is the point. There's different forms of weather warfare. But yeah, the one thing that I regret about my old book is it's very thick, it's very thorough, and I made it a little bit complicated by going into deeper ciphers. I haven't done that since because I just feel like it's better to keep stuff simple. So there's too much information on this page. But you might notice the Royal Air Force with the 97 as well. in light of how that goes with hurricane and the Royal Air Force being the first to admit to weather warfare. But yeah, if the next page, I start talking about how in Hebrew, the word flood has the connection to 62. So it goes back to the Hebrew letter and number code. So 62 has to do with flooding. So again, we just got the fire synced with the flood, but what is to come? You know, we've seen certain islands just keep getting smashed and having bad luck in successive years. And a lot of them have to do with U.S. military installations. You know, Puerto Rico, Guam, Hawaii, all these military places seemingly getting the worst of it. The big earthquake in Southern California on 7/4, and the epicenter was on the military base, China Lake, on 7/4. Energy, weapon, nuclear. You know, the wrestler, like The Rock, who became governor, Jesse Ventura, he said when he was a Navy SEAL, they planted big bombs all over the place, and sometimes those earthquakes aren't earthquakes. They're bombs going off in experiments. But, yeah, anyway, I just want to make the point about those numbers, since we're talking about them here with Kanye being 46 right now, and Chicago's the 46th city. Again, they won their first Super Bowl with the revolutionary 4-6 defense, 46-10. So anyhow, these things happening now, all of these things being so well synced up, and to go through the rest of this. Okay, if you look into the overthrow of Hawaii by the U.S., the dates that come up are January 16th and January 17th. And with both dates, I want you to see what I mean. From January 16th, if you go with that date, January 16th, actually, let's go back to 8. Well, actually, yeah, we're doing the anniversary of it. So this year, the fire began on 8/8. So it was 204 days later, right? So, some history sources are saying January 16th, the day that it got real ugly with the overthrow. And some are saying the shenanigans started January 16th, but it got very violent and deadly the next day, January 17th. And if it's January 17th, the span of days is still 204. So I just want you to see the 204 forwards and backwards. And we actually touched on this in this morning stream, and I pointed out what I knew about 204. But then it made so much more sense because the name of this king that he's portraying, the name, Kama Iamiha. I'm saying it probably even worse this time. Kami Amia. I don't know. Something like that. Kami Amia. If it's wrong, apologies. But anyway, 204. It's 204 days, either after or a span of days from the overthrow date, which is connected to his death. And then notice how when you use numerology, it becomes 51, like the Rock's age right now, like Hawaii equals 51. And look at the Gematria of Hawaii in light of the facts. This ritual synced with the Rock while he's 51. And it's more synced than that, as you know, if you watch the other videos. But Hawaii also 33. And again, 137 islands make up Hawaii, which is the 33rd prime number, which is biblical as well with the flood thing, because if you write out in the beginning, what Genesis means, it equals 137. And Genesis is 33, and 137 is the 33rd prime. And notice also how in the beginning is 83, right? Like Earth is 83, like flood is 83. The flood in Hawaii on the 8th day of the 3rd month. You know, biblical. Okay. Genesis 8:3, the biblical flood ends. The 111, that's what the death toll's up to as of today. All day they've been saying they've confirmed 111. It went from 106 to 111. Hawaii's 111. And Hawaii's also 39, and so is the name of this king. And so is empire and federal. And again, words that are 33 and 39 include empire, New York. Think of all the parallels with New York and 9/11. Pearl Harbor and Hawaii. The new Pearl Harbor in New York. Kamikazes in Hawaii. Kamikazes in New York. Buildings 1, 2, and 7 in New York, December 7th here. This accident, 127 days, or this fire that they say is just, a natural disaster. 127 days after The Rock announces the live-action Moana that begins with the trailer with the burning island. But yeah, Hawaii and New York overlap with 33, 39, 111. And September 11th, the day leaving 111 days left in the year. And again, 33 years before 9/11 happened was 1968. the year World Trade Center construction began, the year 911 was made the national emergency dialing code, the year George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones, 2001: A Space Odyssey came out, movies, predictive programming. It's been going on for a long time, longer than The Rock's been a star. He was born into this. The Rock, a movie about an island. That movie, I think, was, back in Sean Connery's time, which before The Rock was a star. He's probably playing at the Miami Hurricanes back then. But yeah, the number parallels, the historical parallels, the fact that they got to tell us there's 111 dead people right now. CNN kept CNN 39 minutes ago, I'm sure. Yeah, and again, we were just talking about with the Chicago thing with Obama and Kanye's 808 album. Again, we noticed how in history, a genocide came of the native people in the Chicago area after a supposed massacre blamed on them on August 15th, the Jesuit order's birthday. The white settlers retaliated by killing the natives because of the mass murder they heard about on August 15th. And in the history books, 38 people were massacred by the natives. 38. Death, murder, killing, RIP, all 38. Again, Moana came out on the day, leaving 38 days left in the year, and so on. The king also equals 38. We talked about the king, 74. He died 74 years before the takeover. The king, 38. Goes with the Moana thing. Goes with the flood on March 8th. The king, 115. Words that overlap. Killing equals 74, 38, and 115 in the same ciphers. Killing for the king. I mean, that's the thing, right? The king says this is where the army goes to do the killing. The army orders the beheading. Or the king. Yeah, the army might too, but the king's also got the 34 in it, like murder. King's also got the 34 in it, like beast, like 88, like what went down on August 8th. People that have sold their soul to this Illuminati cabal that has all these. Again, you start following all the overlaps, the history, the numbers. You start to see how the Jesuits, the mob, the Church of Satan, all this stuff is connected. All roads lead to Rome. People have said the Jesuits are sheep's and wolves' clothing. So if you were going to promote yourself as Jesus and you were a wolf, you'd actually be the devil. But yeah, again, just the Pentagon and the Church of Satan as well. Again, Michael Aquino, look him up. The guy who was high in the Church of Satan and high at the Pentagon. Michael Aquino, supposedly, a one-time case, but I think that was more of a clue about what's going on. Pentagon, five-sided, like the five-sided upside-down pentagram that the Satanic Church uses. I noticed that there's two recognized dates for the believed death of the king. One is May 8th, 1819, and the other is May 14th. Now, think about May 14th. It can be written 14/5 like 145, like August 8th leaves 145 days. The May 8th thing, 58 is a super special number. It's a little bit deeper to talk about, but from that May 8th to August 8th was a span of 93 days. Again, like 1893, the takeover. Like, again, The Rock announced the new Moana film on the 93rd day, April 3rd. April 3rd. That day can be written 3/4, right? Also like the king. And with the whole Civil War thing that he's a part of. Again, now they got Trump in court as well on March 4th, the old inauguration day and the time of the Civil War. Oh, boy. But 93, again, the last person to drop the bomb on Hiroshima. That was, he was 93 years old. He died at age 93. Japan equals 93. Atomic bomb 93. 93 World Trade Center bombing in Manhattan. The Manhattan Project to develop the big bombs. This in Hawaii after the Oppenheimer film. We've been talking about these numbers and where all of this fits in for so long, and now we're back to Hawaii. History's recreating itself. I've been doing this for so long, now we're watching the history we've been talking about repeat. Been saying it'll just happen again. Well, now it's happening again. It's not August 2013 when I said the time was now for the world to wake up to what was coming. Like Jay-Z says on the Diddy album in 97. Fred Hampton died on Jay-Z's birthday. Fred Hampton died on his 97th day of his age. Slaughtered by the feds. Shot to death in his bed in his sleep. That's the story, at least, in Chicago. But, Yeah, we've been saying, I mean, it's going to come back, and now it's back. Check this out. From August 29, 2018, when he announced the king, to the tragedy, 1,805 days. Now, remember when the governor was just there talking about comparing the site to 9/11 in a war zone, and he said there's 185 people in the active search right now, and he said that on his 185th day of his age. And again, in Gematria, World Trade Center equals 185. He compared it to that. The governor of Hawaii compared the Maui site to the World Trade Center and Ground Zero. And again, the World Trade Center came down 185 days after Osama bin Laden's March 10th birthday. In Gematria, World Trade Center is 185, like mathematics, like Catholicism. Catholicism and mathematics are also 68, like World Trade Center construction began in 68, the year that the Rockefellers created the Club of Rome. Jay-Z on Rockefeller Records, his big album came out on September 11th, 2001, the day of 9/11. So, go figure. And then somebody, all these years we've looked at the significance of Junior Seau dying on May 2nd and how that was meant to break people's hearts because people loved him as a player. Again, Heart 52, like 808 and Heartbreak is 52 minutes long, the album, like how The Rock's going to turn 52 on May 2nd next year. But it is interesting that Junior Seau supposedly committed suicide at 43. As we know, football's 43, killing's 43, RIP's 33, Yale's 43, which is important because American football is credited to Walter Camp at Yale. And Florida's 43, and we know what Brady did at age 43 going down to Florida, which is kind of the Rock's land. And Junior Seau, another football star like The Rock, where it all began with The Rock at the Miami Hurricanes. It's interesting looking back at this now, at how important The Rock is in terms of New World Order affairs and how important this chosen star is that's in so many things and all over the place all the time. And I mean, you look at a guy like The Rock, I think he mostly makes people feel good. Sweet Lady thinks he's too cheesy, so she can't stand him. But I mean, he's a hard guy to really dislike. It's like they use him to balance out the things that are wrong in the world, but then they sync up all this crazy stuff with him. I mean, the way the Illuminati works, it's just people, the evil genius. But suicide on 5/2 on The Rock's birthday. And again, The Rock was 17 when the Jay-Z song Hawaiian Sophie came out, where in the music video, Jay-Z gets hung at the 50th second, essentially. And again, we just had the 50th anniversary of hip-hop, the week of the Maui destruction in the 50th state. Again, the 808 drum machine made hip-hop. The 808 area code is Hawaii. 808's like 88. And again, that 808 drum machine's from Japan. And Roland made it. And Roland equals 64. And it was made in Osaka, Japan. And Osaka, Japan, 64. And Osaka, the big way's 88. Like 8 times 8 is 64. But yeah, the 17th anniversary of, or on The Rock's 17th birthday, Jay-Z essentially hung in the song. Jay-Z 17, like Maui, like rap, like kill, like God. The reason I put Moses in there is because of the Old Testament. Moses speaks to God. And remember, Moses Malone died in a huge 17 ritual, 17 days from Daryl Dawkins, the first 2 players drafted out of high school before Kobe's last season, where he scored 60 against Utah, the state that drafted Moses Malone out of high school before he died at age 60, and Daryl Dawkins isn't 60, and Jordan better look out at age 60, the man who went 6-0. Kobe's 27th NBA debut anniversary is coming up November 3rd this year. Anyway, that 17 thing is wild. And then shout out to Joey. Lupe Fiasco, the Chicago rapper. He has the song called Lasers, and his birthday's 2/16. Now, we've been talking about all of this already, but we're bringing it together more, and we're realizing that Lupe Fiasco fits in. Notice lasers and weapon and energy are all 74 forwards, 88 in reverse, right? And this happened on 8/8. And again, the whole directed energy weapon thing, the military. Shout out to Yeah Right the Matrix. Yeah Right the Matrix uploaded news footage from about a decade, 15 years ago, about them talking about the future of energy weapons and laser weapons and how the military thinks they'll be a full go by around 2020. Well, I think they might have had them as a full go when Paradise happened in 2018, but Again, right now the media is trying to say all this stuff's conspiracy theory, and then he's playing the clips of CNN from 15 years ago where they're talking about it. Now it's a conspiracy theory on CNN. 15 years ago, it was the military future. That's why the world we live in, you guys, it was warned about by Orwell, where the information's always changing and you're being ridiculed and mocked and harassed for questioning authority. People just go along with it. It's pathetic. But look at how Lupe Fiasco overlaps with military and weather. Isn't that wild? Perfect overlap. And there's that 44, like Maui, like Moana, like Polynesia, like number 44, just hitting the significant age. And then his birthday, 216. Directed energy weapon, 216. We went on a big thing about Pepsi Cola. Again, you know how Hawaii's turning 64? All this 64 stuff we began with. In 1964, Hurricane Dora. I should have said that with the Dora thing in the beginning. I think I skipped that, my bad. Hurricane Dora in 64. Now Dora the Explorer, guys, 64 years old as Hawaii turns 64. But, again, Pepsi Cola purchased Mountain Dew in 64. Pepsi Cola, again, this massive company, the biggest food company in North America, gets Mountain Dew. Recently, they created the Maui Burst flavor, and it's perfectly synced with the day it happened. Covered that. Directed energy weapon, 216, like Lupe Fiasco's birthday. Also, 99, like how August 8th was The Rock's 99th day of his age. And again, the Illuminati thing. Look at this, you guys. We're going to get the alphabetic order with numerology and the reverse alphabetic order with numerology. If you write out the United States of America, it's 99. It's also 144 the other way, like the Jesuit order. But the United States of America was named that on September 9th, 99. And if you just drop the United States of America is 84 like Jesuit, the other way it's 132. From the establishment of the Illuminati May 1st to the establishment of the United States of America, span of 132 days. 132 rooms in the White House. The bigger way, Roman Catholics 132, Catholic churches 132, and something else I'm forgetting right now that I shouldn't forget. So, again, these rituals in time. Oh yeah, here, this too. I just got to put up the base ciphers here, just so you can see. Catholic Church. Whoops, I didn't put up the base ciphers, did I? Let's try that again. Catholic Church 132, Roman Catholic 132. The first Roman Catholic Supreme Court Justice died on 13/2, the 44th day of the year. See how Roman Catholics 132 and 219? He was Antonin Scalia, whose name is 132 and 219, and his body laid in repose at the Supreme Court on 219, February 19th, after his 13/2 death. So look at the way they spaced that out. So you can see the ritual. And that 44th day of the year, Lupercalia, that's the day that fire was first dropped from the sky on a population in a military experiment at the end of World War II, when the U.S. and the Royal Air Force bombed Dresden. Look it up. Napalm on innocent people. Hundreds of thousands dead over the course of days, starting on the 44th day of the year. Again, Maui 44 like military. M's. But, oh yeah, they say that in history, the group that overthrew Hawaii called themselves the 13. The 13, right? 1399. The Illuminati, founded with 13 families, May 1st, 1776. 5 plus 1 plus 17 plus 76 is 99. Then, synced up with their establishment, the establishment of the United States of America on 99. You know, a nation by a code where all this stuff's cleverly thought out. How many Americans know about the history of weather warfare and that it was admitted to by the Royal Air Force way back in the day, by the U.S. during the time of Vietnam, you know, by China recently at the Olympics? I mean, that was even in the mainstream headlines, how China was using weather modification to make sure the Winter Games were right there. And almost nobody knows anything about that, but ask them if they know about The Rock. You know, they all know who The Rock is. They can name his movies. Some of them can name his wrestling career, his Miami Hurricanes stats. Again, I mean, you see how it works. It's like, here, you want to worship these people? We're going to perform rituals around them like they're gods, like you worship them. You won't even see what we're doing. You're going to laugh all the way to the bank. Disaster capitalism. And yeah, just the whole 204 thing, coming back to Randy Meisner. Randy Meisner's name, Randall Herman Meisner. You know, he's part of this. He's getting swallowed up. Getting swallowed up in this story. But yeah, again, for all the people who think that this is all a coincidence, I mean, why don't you go back and rewind the last 10 years of what we've been saying from the beginning and how we've been proving our point much further and with a lot more clarity. And again, I'd debate anyone in the world who thinks all this is bullshit. That's why I get annoyed about all these talking heads on TV that are essentially talking shit to people like us who are looking into things. I mean, turn on cable news right now. It's obvious the people online who are questioning this are having an impact because they're mad right now. They're talking about online conspiracy theorists, how social media platforms aren't doing enough. God, it makes me sick to hear this crap. People on TV advocating for the undermining of the First Amendment. You think these are sincere human beings? Again, the First Amendment's to have an open and fair press that can question authority. Now we have a press that doesn't question authority, just goes along with everything they say, and then demonizes the people who do question and use their First Amendment privileges, and then now begging people in the social media world to do more to censor the crazy people. You know? Saying people like me are crazy. Talk of directed energy weapons is crazy. No, it's not. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to pull up Yeah Right, the Matrix's channel and the news clip he got. See if they end up trying to disable this video. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let me make sure all of my settings are right before I play this video. But this is a 2-minute clip from CNN from years back. This is probably when Obama was in office. Could have been even sooner than that. Again, my whole childhood upbringing, the news media was always gloating about the military technology and how advanced we were getting. And again, all of this stuff has been discussed. So for them to act like it's a conspiracy theory now, it's just maddening. So hold on. Let me get my audio just right here for this. And let me see. Let's turn it up. Let's make sure. All right, I think we're good. I think the sound's going to be good. Let's try this out. About 2 minutes here, CNN talking about the future of laser weapons. And again, there's a lot of old news footage out there like this. This isn't some isolated 1 in a million broadcast. This is something that was brought up a lot for a certain period of time. Here we go.
Fighter jet laser weapons used to be the stuff of science fiction. Now they're closer to getting real. The U.S. Air Force Research Laboratory told CNN it hopes to demonstrate a fighter jet laser as soon as 2020.
It really is a national tipping point where we see the technology evolving and maturing to the stage where it really can be.
Kelly Hammett, the chief engineer in directed energy, which are directed energy weapons. Like we were just talking about, the Gematria with 99 on the Rock's 99th day of his age.
Used.
This year, the Air Force, the Pentagon research arm DARPA, and Lockheed Martin successfully tested a laser turret that would...
Let's just pause right there. DARPA, the military technology department. How many people know that the day that DARPA's lifelog ended is the exact same day that Facebook launched, and DARPA's lifelog was largely the same thing as Facebook? Military intelligence, keeping surveillance over the populace. What they're doing more and more, what the post 9/11 agenda's been all about. Facebook came a few years after 9/11. You know, Mark Zuckerberg, born in that infamous year 84, George Orwell's surveillance state. But DARPA and Facebook and now social media and all these companies steering speech. It's just like, you know, in the military, I don't know if the First Amendment exists. It's follow the commander, right? That's what you do in the military. You get in big trouble. It's kind of like you throw out your privileges as a U.S. citizen when you join the military. Now it's just follow orders 24/7. And that's kind of like how authority wants everybody right now. Not questioning the agendas, in line. If you're speaking out, you're getting deleted and censored and punished. Okay, let's continue. I just want to make sure everybody knows who DARPA is.
Allow near supersonic planes to surround themselves with a 360-degree defensive laser shield. The Air Force Lab has already built working lasers that can destroy aircraft from the ground, like this laser shootdown of an unmanned plane in 2009, which was a precision breakthrough. At sea, the U.S. Navy
2009. I wonder if it's improved since then. Think about how far technology's come since 2009. A long way.
already has an operational laser weapon aboard the USS Ponce. But hitting moving targets from a fighter jet flying hundreds of miles an hour is a lot harder. A successful laser weapon can burn through strong materials remarkably fast with virtual silence. Pilots could use it to defend against enemy planes, threats from the ground, and incoming missiles. No need to reload because ammunition is electrical power, not bullets. To be effective, fighter jet lasers will have to be smaller and lighter than ground-based lasers. They'll have to be accurate despite the G-forces, vibrations, and speed that come with air combat. In addition to fighters, the commander of Air Force Special Operations says he wants defensive high-energy lasers aboard huge AC-130J Ghost Rider gunships by 2020. Experts say it'll be the beginning of a new era, as laser weapons are poised to exit science fiction and join missiles, guns, and bombs in the real world. Tom Patterson, CNN.
Okay, so, CNN, these days it's all conspiracy theory. Back then it was the future by 2020. And, here I am after a decade of saying exactly what I see is going on. Just the predictive programming and how this whole world of screens and entertainment and news, how it's all part of just one big script. Again, it's that Newsbender show from the 1960s about, being hired to write the news for the future. That's a plot of a show out of the UK. This guy can't believe he's getting hired to write the news for years from now. And the guy explains to him, it's been going on for a long time writing the news. That's what we do. We tell the story. Tell the story for the sake of the agenda, because we got to move the people where we want to move them to. Climate change. Look, it just engulfed those people in flames. They didn't even have seconds. Got burned up trying to run to the ocean. You want that to happen in your town? You better give up your rights and liberties. The First Amendment's even been known to fan flames. Better take that away too. So yeah, anyhow, we got all these videos out here on Maui. Maui, was that a wildfire? All these other videos are worth watching too. The Maui-atrix last night, collaboration to bring essentially together the roots of this morning's video, which hardly has any views. What a damn shame. I feel like that video in 2016, 2017 would have at least 100,000 views by now. At least. That's what I hate about the algorithm and all the deletions. It's just like, maybe it's getting better views than we know, but if it's only got 1.5K views, that's so sad. That is so sad. That is just wasted knowledge for the masses. Thank you, Nick F. Pearl Harbor Day. They cloned Tyrone from room 107. Yeah, Jamie Foxx equals 107. Recall 10-4. The day before is 6 months after MLK 44 on 4-4. Okay. Okay, you're saying October 4th. Okay, got it. October 4th. Interesting. Here, we got a Cousin Mar phone call, too. What's up, Cousin Mar?
Yo, cousin Zach, I hate to mess up the stream right now, but I had to call you. So The Rock's grandmother, Leah, was a pro wrestler promoter. You'll never fucking guess that her husband was the president of Polynesian fucking wrestling, and when he died in 1982, she took it over till 1988.
1988. So wait, his grandmother was married to who?
Rock's grandmother, yes. The Rock's grandmother, yes.
Okay.
Was a Polynesian female wrestling promoter. Her husband, I guess, ran like the Polynesian wrestling scene. Well, when he died in 1982, The Rock's grandmother took it over and ran it till 1988.
Look at what day he died. He died on the day leaving 201 days left in the year.
Shit, I didn't even know all that. I just was reading The Rock's bio, to be honest. That's why I pulled it up. But yeah, that's crazy. And then so early age, I guess he was like a military baby. I'm not sure because he moved from Charlotte, North Carolina. Then he moved to Connecticut. And and then he wanted. Oh my God, I forgot to tell you this. Guess where he went to school at? He went to President William McKinley High School in Honolulu.
Figures, okay.
Right. And then he graduated from Freedom High School in Bethlehem Township, PA, which I never knew, in 1990.
Huh. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I figured that was interesting. And yo, you want to? So in this article, it says before the age of 17, he was arrested multiple times for fighting theft and check fraud. I said, 17. Just to go with all the 17 that you was talking about.
Yeah.
So this, yeah.
You know what else I noticed about his grandma? His grandma died in '08, right? And we're talking about the connection with Kanye and his 808s album in '08 and Obama. So she died just days before that.
Right, and then in 2008, he also inducted his father and grandfather into the Wrestling Hall of Fame also in 2008.
Okay. And then I forgot to mention that the day that he announced that the King movie, that was on the anniversary of Katrina, which goes back to Kanye as well. And then he recently put out that album for his mom on that day. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, so I know this is going to seem out of left field. So Trump is 88. We got this Kobe Bryant statue coming out on 88. Now, I mean, the decode brain. I'm trying to figure out that since Trump is going to be, what we expect to be the next guy, was this some clear-cut ritual for him also?
Well, I've been talking about how they're building this big assassination narrative. If you guys missed my video last week on August 9th, all day I was talking about the history of assassinations in 144, and then the day ended with the Ecuadorian presidential candidate getting assassinated, and then I pointed out how Ecuador's birthday is the 144th day of the year, and it was established 46 years after the U.S., like we're in the time of number 46, and the last Catholic president, JFK, got killed at age 46.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring up 144, because in the Gematria calculator, president assassination equals 144.
Okay, well, that might be why it's that way from Lincoln to Kennedy to RFK and back to William Henry Harrison. So.
Yes. But yeah, that's why I had to call in and let you know, because that whole Polynesian thing, I'm like, yo, this is fucking hilarious. Like, I mean, well, you know how I feel about all the, scripted bullshit. It's just comical to me. But yeah, it's just funny how they got that shit down to every detail. They got some really good writers. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, they are good writers and they're good planners. And again, for all the people who don't understand how they can do it, imagine just writing a story. They're writing a story and they're making that become the reality through controlling what goes out in the news. I mean, I don't understand how people can't figure it out. Again, I'm going out and the news reporter's telling me that she thinks what I'm doing is really interesting, but she can't cover it because she's there to cover her assignment from the news agency. I mean, they're not even going out looking for the news. They're going out to present news a certain way.
Yeah, exactly. They're giving a narrative and a certain dialogue to use, and they get these crisis actors out there, X, Y, and Z. But they show Utopia, definitely the one with what's his name, John Cusack. When he's sitting here telling his stepson or whoever he is, he's sitting there telling him to make up all of these stories for the crazy doctor and all of this and all that. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, this is how it really goes. These super brainwashed deep kids that can write narratives and can do all types of shit in like split seconds. This is exactly how it goes. They come in the morning and say, fuck Cousin Mark. And then next thing you know, the world fucking hates me. So like, yeah, that's how it goes.
By the way, his grandma died 74 days after her birthday. And her birthday is Hiroshima bombing date, August 6th.
Go figure. Yeah. That's it, he not only is a bad wrestler, bad actor, but he's just a bad individual overall. But yeah, Cousin Zach, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for taking the call.
Well, we can't undermine. Remember when they synced up Super Bowl 54? It was synced up with him. Chiefs equals 112, Super Bowl 112. He bought the Chiefs 112 days before they won that Super Bowl on the HBO show Ballers.
Yes, exactly. I mean, ever since that's actually when I like really started following you. So I know all about that. So it's just like, damn, like it's crazy how these celebrities have recycling like events that are rituals for them, and after the years of following you, it's just like, God damn, like, how can you live with yourself knowing like these things? Because I'm sure, I mean, I might not know, but I'm sure like somehow, some way, they know, somewhere. You got what I'm trying to say because of that? I highly doubt that these guys don't know half the shit that is going on, and then certain things that are said in the media, they get kicks out of this shit.
Yeah, I gotta assume somebody like The Rock knows at least a little bit about something. He might not realize it's to this extent, but they gotta know something's up. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It might not, like you say, be full on detail, but they know that,
Unless here's my alternate theory. Unless it's like other things we see in the movies that they are like really Manchurian candidates and they're under like some kind of CIA mind control. Because when I was watching Chuck Schumer and Kathy Hochul, especially Hochul, it's like they're going out in front of a large crowd of people, and the crowd, you can tell, is not really favorable towards them, especially towards Hochul. But she just keeps speaking like everything's just fine. It's like the crowd doesn't even move her. It's like, is this even a human being? She's not even reacting to her environment. She's just babbling on. It's like, who are these people really? I mean, there are people who can get up and just do that in front of a crowd, but again, we know that a lot of them are raised and born to be. Maybe they are going through some kind of mind control network to make them behave and go along with the agenda as well. I don't know.
Yeah, and they got this new movie called MK Ultra that is like a B-list movie that came out this year. They're just putting it so fucking, in front of our faces, not even funny. Did you see the senator guy that got touched on his elbow and just completely shut down?
Was it Mitch McConnell a week ago?
Yeah, I think that was him. I was like, yo, how is that even possible?
Yeah.
How did he get paralyzed?
Yeah, I'm sure his number's coming up. He's getting old Mitch McConnell.
Right, and it's just like they're mocking us, and it's just like everybody that, some might not be in the know, other, you see guys like, bro, what's going on? He's poking his head, but others are just standing there like, yeah, fuck you guys, this is what's happening right now. And she goes back up and touches his elbow, and then, he starts to move, and I'm just like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, they know that the mass majority of the public is so fucking, like, dumb. Their pineal gland is so fried that, you could literally roll it out in front of them, and they would still have an argument.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Literally, it could happen right in front of them.
Indeed.
Well, I appreciate it, fella.
All right, thanks, Mark.
All right, thank you.
All right, take care.
You too.
I noticed his grandfather, who died on the day leaving 201 days left in the year, he died 41 years ago, like Pearl Harbor in 41, like 9/11 with the big 41 ritual, like USA. But yeah, isn't that funny? I mean, we're talking about 74 killing. I said it in the beginning of the stream that I want the Slipknot guy who's essentially attacking people like me. I want him to address the pattern with 74 and killing. We said that at the beginning of the stream, only to find out The Rock's grandma also died 74 days after her birthday. Man, that happens a lot. Something's not up. I mean, he's saying it. We're using it as a conspiracy theory. What do you mean in your song when you said Gematria is a killing name? Tell me what the song's about then. Seems to make perfect sense based on what I've been documenting. These people are crazy. I don't like when crazy people are telling me I'm crazy. Anyhow, coming back, Truth Vibration Podcast with that Taco Money. He says, Kamehameha is the main attack in DBZ. Is that Dragon Ball Z? It's before my, or that's after my, or I was too old when Dragon Ball Z came out. I don't really, I know it's a thing, but I don't know a lot about it. So it's the main attack, huh? Maybe if we look there, there's something there. There probably is. I'm sure if we look, we'll find. Whew. Nicholas, Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump, Zeppelin, Kobe Bush decode. Well, I've definitely covered all those topics over the years. I don't know if they're all in one or that's something you did, but thank you. Cover Helen Smart. Let me see. Is that breaking news? Helen Smart. Let's see. Former team. Hold on. Hold up. Helen Smart. There we go. Former Olympic swimmer Helen Smart dead at 43. This one's got it at 42. If you died at 42, you died in your 43rd year of life. R.I.P. 43. Killing 43. So many former Olympians die around this age. I mean, it's crazy. So this news seemed to have broke on the Jesuit order's birthday, huh? If it's 42, let's see. Yeah, it looks like it broke on the Jesuit order's birthday. 42 is Jesuit. Let's see if we can find out about Helen Smart. Helen Smart, does she have a Wikipedia page? She was found dead by her 4-year-old. Again, 4, the number of death. We're talking about it all the time. Kobe and Moses Malone, we were talking about it. Then Maui burned up 4 days after Obama's birthday. And now 4 years after Dora the Explorer concluded. So on and so forth. Found dead by 4-year-old. For the extra traumatic, right? What a thing for a 4-year-old to find their mother. Mummy won't wake up. She must be British. She must be British with Mummy. The athlete, so here she's 42. She was in the Commonwealth Games. Seen some weird stuff with that. Well, the problem is Helen Smart, date of birth and death. I need that information. Her precise date of birth is unknown. Well, I again, all I can say is it's the Jesuit order's birthday, and several of the sources are saying 42. And I don't know if it fits in with swimming or not. If she was 43, like some say, then she would have been in her 44th year of life. It's funny how swimming has that 44 connection because, of course, it can be deadly, and the number has a lot to do with death. Yeah, I can't do a proper decode on somebody that I don't have their information, but thank you. The name of Lockheed Martin's Advanced Research and Development Program is Skunkworks. Skunkworks equals 108, like directed energy weapons. Very interesting. Okay. All right. Well, I think I got everything out there again, True Seeker. And let me put my eyes on the chat. Anything else you guys would add to this stream? Olympian is 42. Good one. Michael Bay, who directed The Rock and Pearl Harbor, was born on February 17th. That's the 48th day of the year, like Hollywood and Illuminati. From the fire to his birthday is 172 days. Like his birthday is 17/2. The Jesuit motto ad Merum Dei Gloriam is 172. That reminds me, I forgot to look at the Robert Zemeckis part of... Hold on. Okay. Let's go back and look at where Robert Zemeckis might fit in, since he's the guy who's, having The Rock act in this perfectly synced ritual. Let's see where Robert Zemeckis might tie in here. He's from Chicago, Robert Zemeckis. Born on May 14th, 14/5. August 8th leaves 145 days left in the year. This is one of the associated dates with the killing of the king. And that just happens to be Robert Zemeckis' birthday, who's born in 52. And The Rock's birthday is May 2nd, and he'll be 52 next year. Again, Earth, Flood, Enlil, Devil, Pope, Hurricane, all the 52s. The Rock, the Miami Hurricane football player. So that's interesting. So, technically we already measured from that date because we looked at that with the king. And, again, it's 86 days. Hiroshima. 86 to get rid of. Not such a nice number. Jesuits, the plural, 86. So, yeah, Robert Zemeckis takes us back to Chicago. He's 71 right now. Remember how we talked about this? because Hawaii burned on the 353rd day of its age, the 71st prime, and then on the Jesuit order's 71st birthday, the governor was comparing it to 9/11, and 71's another Catholic number. But yeah, this is the synchronicity I see between the king, The Rock, and him directing the movie. Back to the Future accurately forecasted events to come symbolically, because these are the people that are in on the script and have enough information. Or Robert Zemeckis is the guy who's like, right there at the hand of the Illuminati, who says, okay, in your movie, you're going to have this. It's going to be this way. This needs to be in there. Robert Zemeckis can make the film, but he has to hit these things. They have to be in the film. Need to be in the film because they're going to happen on this date in the future for the ongoing New World Order agenda that Jay-Z said we're not ready for. Look it up from a Young G's perspective. It's on that Puff Daddy No Way Out album. Sometimes it feels like there's no way out of this Illuminati grip. But I know there is, man. It wasn't always this way. It got to be this way because these people were smart and clever. And, they've been outsmarting humanity. But for how long can they outsmart? People got to keep working to level the playing field, expose the information, share the information, and make it so these people's game doesn't work anymore. All right. The Beer Guy, 5 British pounds, says, I've posted links on your forum for real relief efforts in Facebook communities that are helping on the ground. Don't let them take the lands. Okay. So he posted on freetofindtruth.com. And yeah, the thing is, I do your homework before you make any donations. Make sure you're getting it to people who are actually there. There's so many things that are promoted that I think are part of the money still and the hustle of these events. Like the Red Cross, they hardly give any of the money that comes in to the actual people who need it. And it's right in the fine print that they take the vast majority of the money for their bureaucracy. The big Red Cross, like the Templar Red Cross, like the Templar Cross in the middle of the Jesuit logo. But thank you, the Beer Guy. Nicholas Wilkerson, decode the Tom Hanks and Forrest Gump. Okay, you wrote that again. I don't know if you're asking me. I've done some decodes on Forrest Gump. You can definitely go back and check them out. Lasers spotted in Hawaii on February 11th, 2023. The news stations blamed China. That was the 42nd day of the year. Let's see. Let's go back and find those headlines. Lasers spotted in Hawaii, February 11th. Green lasers in Hawaii. So here's one of the reports. Freaky green lights spotted over Hawaii turned out to be Chinese satellites, experts say. Trying to find the exact... It says on February 6th, however, they corrected themselves and said the lights weren't from the NASA satellite. So it looks like it might have actually been before that then, since we have February 6th. I remember the Matrix upgrade from January 28th. It was wild. So it looks like January 28th was the date. 128. Now remember, that's the date for the Eiffel Tower, and the Eiffel Tower had this bomb scare thing on 12/8 while Maui was front and center. Again, the Jesuits are from Paris, France, originally. Paris, France, the land of 56. Moana was the 56th Disney film, for the record. Like, climate change is 56. But it looks like January 28th was actually the date. So, just to see. That was 192 days prior, or if you count the span, it was a span of 193 days. Now, to me, the 193 really stands out because that's the 44th prime. And again, Maui's 44, and Moana's 44, and military's 44. And Polynesia going with the Maui god. So, I think January 28th. But thank you. Maybe it was again February 11th. Thank you. Thank you again, Zachary. Sachet, thank you. We'd be lost without you. I don't think that's exactly true, but I do feel like, I have burned a good chunk of my healthy years as a man sitting here decoding this for a decade straight to try and wake up the world. And a lot of times I get like feelings of, I wish I'd done something else for my 30s than this every single day now that I'm 40. But at the same time, I realize that from pushing so hard for a decade, maybe a smarter mind could have achieved it faster, but pushing so hard for a decade, I mean, we've really brought this research to the forefront, and I know it can do better than it does it's the algorithms that have ruined us. If you guys weren't here in 2016 and 2017, this work was taken off. We were getting huge views, and then we got deleted, and then we couldn't stay up. And now at 2023, the algorithm's so bad, it's like hard to get 5,000 views, something you could get in 10 minutes before. But thank you, and I appreciate the donation. Again, thank you to everyone who supports the work. Planning the trip here to Hawaii shortly. And I do feel bad about not being in New York for 9/11 because I really want to do that every year. I'm going to try, if I miss New York 9/11, which is most likely this year, I'm going to try and make a point to never miss it again because I think we do need to be there annually doing exactly what we did last year, getting out the word. That was impactful, New York. Decode Kyrie Irving willing to take a vegan vaccine. Does this have any? I mean, like, where's the importance of that in regards to, again, what we're talking about right here? But thank you. God's Node. You see that 10-1 Mandalay Bay? And by the way, if you guys want to see my past work on Kyrie Irving and him supposedly being an anti-Semite, go back and watch those videos. That was another NBA 113 special. God's Node. Thank you. You see that 10-1 Mandalay Bay to 8-8 Maui fires is 2,137 days, the 322nd prime. The police chief connecting the two, of course. Again, October 1st, the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting in Nevada on the day leaving 91 days left in the year. And Mandalay Bay Casino 101, the day it happened, like Assassin. But yeah, the police chief at both. And the media is talking about that and how people online are making conspiracy theories about that. Yeah, the 322nd prime. Again, Yale's going to turn 322 years old in October. And I guess it goes with the Pearl Harbor thing. Pearl Harbor in 41, right? Skull and Bones 41. George Herbert Walker Bush, number 41, Skull and Bones. Paul Walker died 5 years to the day at George Herbert Walker in a red Porsche when he's in the movie about Skull and Bones, the skulls, and dies in a red Porsche. Check my pin tweet Hawaii card credited to 1994-95, mini used for sale on eBay. All right, hold on. Oh yeah, here we go. Right here. The Hawaii card from the Illuminati card game. Hawaii, the traditional vacation spot for the world's middle class. Hawaii gives one extra action token each turn to the group that controls it if that group is corporate. Yeah, the Illuminati card game strikes again. Good eyes, Nathan. Thank you. Real talk. Paradise evidence. Yeah, we've covered Paradise a great deal in the past. Again, Paradise, California, 118. Like Los Angeles, California on the 118th meridian, both burned on 11/8. LA's birthday, September 4th, the day leaving 118 days left in the year. But yeah, this year on the focus on 11/8, August 11th, was how Lahaina was destroyed on the anniversary of the HARP patent, the military technology that relates to disasters like this. Thank you, Daria. I appreciate that. Daria, always so generous. Hope you're feeling better, Daria. She says she's nursing up. But yeah, I do appreciate the generosity, True Seeker, and I do look forward to getting out there and sharing this information. See if the community receives it as well as other places we've gone. And Again, we got to create a spark somewhere. We got to create a spark somewhere that makes people want to get the word out, change the world, change the direction of things, take the power back from the tyrants. People are just still too comfortable, you know? And that's the thing. I've always said, a lot of people are going to be too comfortable until the day they get the, as they're calling them, the blowtorch wins. CNN says, again, it wasn't a conspiracy. Stop with the conspiracy theories online. It was just blowtorch wins. That's all. It was just the blowtorch wins that did it. Mountain Dew introduced pitch black earlier this year. Let's take a look, because they've been predicting this power outage, this hacking again. Okay, I got to look at this, you guys, because for people who don't know, I got to show you my original blog post back in August of 2013 when I just had enough and I needed to figure out, I needed to get to the bottom of this. So hold on, bear with me a minute. Back to 2013. Oh, I started this research in August, but actually I was posting everything on Facebook then. So my first actual post on this website was October 2013. But again, the first post was about the predictive programming and the foreshadowing of a major blackout event, and just a lot of things that were in popular culture at that time were pointing down to kind of like old Civil War land, the Carolinas and whatnot. And again, Janet Napolitano had just stepped down as Department of Homeland Security head, and she said the next 9/11 is not if but when, and it will be a national blackout. It's like, oh, really? So they know that's going to happen. Okay, not if but when. And they've been doing the simulations for the grid going down, and 60 Minutes did a big story on it by the numbers last year, and then there was supposedly a real-life story similar, like the days after the 60 Minutes thing, and anyway, to find out that Maui, or Mountain Dew, who did this Maui Burst flavor, just put out something called, what is it again? Pitch Black? Let's see if we can find the information on this. I got to check this out. Mountain Dew Pitch Black flavor release date. I think this is 2025 still at the earliest, but 2025 could be the year that this thing comes. So January 15th, again, we had the pandemic, the first case of coronavirus supposedly arrived in the U.S. on January 15th, 15/11 pandemics 151. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. So Pitch Black on Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, the only black American with a holiday named after him. Yeah. Had 59 date numerology this year. Number coded all over Black History, like Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year. Pitch Black on MLK's birthday. Okay. These people, man. Can you imagine if that's the future, that they turn out the lights on America on MLK's birthday? People still wouldn't get it. Public Enemy, What You Gonna Do When the Grid Goes Down. That album with Arizona on the cover. And then we had the blackouts across the nation the following Valentine's Day, when Arizona's the Valentine's Day state. They had the song By the Time I Get to Arizona, and the Public Enemy posters are shown in the Black Panther at the start, and in the first action scene of Black Panther, he's got that technology that knocks out the powers. He's jumping out of the plane. But yeah, Pitch Black. Let's check the gematria, by the way. Pitch Black on MLK's birthday. The jokes. Hey, Pepsi, I think that's pretty racist. Oh, Pitch Black equals 59 to go with that 59 date numerology. How about that? Pitch Black 59. There's that 185 again. 85. I could say things about all these numbers, but yeah, that's probably a good way to figure out the day that they will pull the plug on us. Measure from when MLK Day became an official holiday. Look at the most significant days in the calendar year to Black history. MLK's birthday, arguably right there in the U.S., since he's the only black person with a holiday named after him. Martin Luther King Jr. equals 228, like United States of America. Again, that's not his birth name. That number also connects to death. Yesterday was the 228th day of the year. the anniversary of the death of Elvis, the king of rock and roll, and Aretha, the queen of soul, and Babe Ruth, and many others, actually. We went into how many celebrities have died on that day in history when we were looking into Aretha's death after 42 studio albums. That day did have 59 numerology. It also had 39 numerology, like how him and Malcolm X were killed at age 39. MLK was killed in 39 land, New York. Let's see. I know Arizona was the last state to recognize MLK Day. When did When did MLK Day become official holiday? I forget what year it was. 1986. Legislation making Martin Luther King Jr. Day a federal holiday in the United States was passed in 83, and the first nationwide observance took place in 86. So he had to get 86 to become a holiday, and then they had to pass in 83, the year they put out Murder by Numbers, when MLK is a big murder by numbers. Legislation for the holiday had been introduced in 68, the year of his assassination, the year of the Club of Rome and the Rockefellers, and everything else that went into motion. Coronavirus, COVID vaccine, 911, World Trade Centers, 2001: A Space Odyssey about technology overtaking man. Ronald Reagan was in there at the time, who has all the parallels with Trump. And now Trump's in Georgia with his fourth indictment in the fourth state out of Atlanta, where MLK's from, who was killed on 4/4. Barack Obama equals 68, number 44. MLK killed on 4/4 in 68. Barack Obama's guy, Joe, in there, going up against Trump, who was actually the 44th person to be president, despite being number 45, because Grover Cleveland had the split term that messed up the count. JFK, the 44th term president, assassinated. The first president to die in office, William Henry Harrison, on 4/4. Yeah, I mean, you just look at these numbers. I mean, these are numbers of death and killing. And everything that's going on right now, and the recreations of history and the tributes this year to MLK, what they just did in Montgomery. Tribute to the MLK March from Selma to Montgomery. So yeah, pitch black on MLK's birthday. Nice. Remember when we got the first COVID strain out of the black continent, Africa, on Black Friday? That was nice. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that anymore. All the videos that I did on that, they let them stay up for between 6 months and a year, and then they took them all down for medical misinformation for pointing out that the COVID strain from the black continent on Black Friday. I don't know why that was misinformation. I mean, it was just an observation. So now pitch black. Same jokes over and over. This gang needs to be put out of commission. Their stuff is stale. Okay. All right. Any other good observations, True Seeker? Yeah. There was actually a storyline not that long ago that white supremacists were trying to take down the power grid. That was a storyline. That was one of the ones they presented in the news. White supremacists were trying to take down the power grid. Pitch black, MLK's birthday. Hold on. Let me go back and dig up that story. This was April 21st, 2023. Department of Justice website right here. This was in the news. Here's right from the government page. White supremacy. Domestic terrorism plot was further into white supremacy. The white supremacists had a scheme to attack the power grid. This was posted on the 111th day of the year. On a date with 68 numerology. How about that? But 111, New York. New York's had some power outages by the numbers. Yeah, it's all starting to make sense, right? And oh, by the way, the Amazon movie they put out, Lockdown 2025, the power grid goes out, and in LA, fire starts raining from the sky, all this chaos, but all this racial animosity breaks out. People are fighting over race. So, Lockdown 2025, race war theme, end of the world chaos theme. Goes with what they did with George Floyd in the massive 225 ritual in Minneapolis that's tied to LA through the Lakers. Won the championship right after his death and Kobe's death. And the Lakers started out in Minneapolis, the land of 10,000 lakes. But yeah, what a joke. And just like how all these things work together, Pepsi, the government, because it's really the Illuminati, you guys. Again, the Illuminati is the Jesuit network, but it's obviously the thing that runs the show. The Illuminati founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt, who was Jewish, like Governor, Josh Green, who's just got the perfect number alignment. So I wonder how much he knows. I'm not blaming it on him, but might be related to somebody. Might be part of the Weishaupt bloodline. You just never know. Only asking questions. But yeah, Pitch Black. White supremacy, power grid, predictive programming on Jesuit-run Amazon, synced up with the huge Jesuit ritual of George Floyd and all the Confederate statues coming down as they try to create a new civil war. And then the king of Hawaii was part of a civil war. And then, oh man, these guys, these guys are the best at storytelling. Pretty sure they're part of the same crew that gave us the Bible as we know it. That's why it's got all the same numbers. Yeah, if you guys don't know RPM Trey, Vietnam, check out his message and what he's doing on the streets of Iowa, trying to get people to respect that Second Amendment with his Hug a AR-15 owner campaign. Yeah, The Purge, right? So much predictive programming. The Walking Dead in Atlanta, the CDC is so many agendas. I don't know about that with Adam Weishaupt and George Washington, but George Washington did pen a letter about his concerns about the Illuminati. That's for sure. Pitch Black's a movie with Vin Diesel. Okay. Here, I realized one thing I need to do. Have these movies come out yet? The Rock, The King, Hawaii. Are these movies out or are they in production? Directed by Robert Zemeckis. References Braveheart. Dwayne Johnson's career in Hollywood started in 2001. What a year. Chosen one for the 21st century. In development, I see. Yeah, it's being made. Probably use some of the footage from August 8th. Just clip it in there, see if you noticed. We found it cheaper to burn the island in one take. Are you not entertained yet? Yeah, if you guys don't know Amy at Crack Their Code, she does great work too. Indeed. "159 days after Tua's birthday, huh? Okay, that's big Donald Trump Scottish Rite number. Scottish Rite with the NFL. It's a good one. That's a good one. Because Miami, he's playing in Miami, right? Yeah, we got to think about that. That's very interesting. Tua's playing in Miami. The Rock was a Miami Hurricane. Very good. WWF Warzone, released on 8/21, Hawaii's birthday. Okay. Wild. Yeah, exactly, Daniel. Exactly. Not even that, just everything. I mean, everything. All the information I put out was correct, and I got taken down 1,000,000 times for medical misinformation. My stuff should have been everywhere. Could have saved a lot of lives. Remember, we did nearly 100 days on the corner warning the town of Yakima, where I was living at the time. Don't be a guinea pig. Tua's named 206. News also broke 206 days before his upcoming birthday. Yep, there's something going on there. Played at old Alabama. They can get some weather down there too. Miami, The Rock. Yep, that's something. 206 is no arbitrary number. 206 bones in the human body. We've been talking a lot about that. It's a sacrifice number, but it's a very human number too. Oh yeah, 3-year. Of course it is. It is the 3-year anniversary. Can't even talk about that guy. It's automatic censorship. Yeah, very good. Very good observations there. Tua. Gonna have to do the homework on old Tua. Look up Tua's real name. It's a trip. All right, let's see. Yeah, definitely a name to spell to win a spelling bee. Okay, let's see. Are we doing it with the nickname or without? Oh, the whole thing, including the nickname, is like August 20th, the day leaving 145 days left in the year. Okay. Wikipedia's got it. 373 is the 74th prime. There's that magic 74 right back. And then 139 is big with the Illuminati and Freemasonry, and the other numbers might mean something that I just might not know. But yeah. Yeah, it's too mind-blowing for most people how connected it is and how chosen these people are. In the club. 50 Cent, right? He did the In the Club song. These people are in the club. 50th anniversary. It's becoming super clear. All right, but yeah, I got to leave it there for now. Got to run to the grocery store, make some dinner, keep on with the writing projects. But I got to be honest, even though support's way down, I've never felt better right now. I feel like it was worth it the last decade, even though I also wish I did some other things too. But all the grinding for the last decade, I know that we have figured out what's going on. And if the knowledge can just get out there, we might actually change the world. So thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. Thank you to everyone who supports the work. Again, it takes resources to do things. I really appreciate people's generosity. So we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. And feel better, Daria. Have a great day, everyone. And Hawaii, we'll get to the truth yet. Till next time.